Hello, so this time we're gonna learn about the basics of AutoCAD and how to use the ribbon up here, and it's gonna be very fundamental for your future projects, for your blueprints and whatnot. And so yeah, let's start. First one is line over here. Line is gonna be the very first very important fundamental of your projects, because it's gonna be like the foundation, how you're gonna size up things for your project. As you can see, you can put lines everywhere if you want to. As you can see here, uh, you can use you can drag from right to left in order to select everything, and you can also use left to right to select one thing, but that one thing needs to be like very specific. For example, let me just separate that line there. As you can see, I can't select it. I need to select all of it in order to select it, unlike for the right to left one, where I can just select a small bit of the line and I can select it all. So yeah, that's it for the line. Next is the polyline. Polyline is basically a line, but every single object counts as one object. So here we go. Let's just make a weird shape right here. Next is, let's make a different one, a line, so that you can see the difference between a polyline and a normal line. So there we go, just connect it over here. So for polyline, if you click one side, it's all connected, it's all one object. Unlike for the line here, if you click one line, it's a separate line. So yeah, that's it for the polyline. Now we have circles. There are many different types of circles over here, as you can see. For the circles, here we have a diameter circle. So if we put 10 diameters, put a 10 diameter circle, it's gonna make a 10 diameter circle. If you put a radius circle, of course it's gonna be bigger than diameter circle. There you go. And the 2-point circle is basically clicking your first point and making the circle from it, as you can see. And the 3-point circle is basically the 2-point, but there's an extra point added. See, there's my first point, and here's my second point, and here we go, we're making the circle. Now next is for the tan radius. Tan radius circle are used for if you want it to be like right next to each other. For example, if I click these 2 points over here and make it like a 5 radius circle, it's gonna make a 5 radius circle over there. And for the tan circle, you need for example, I have a small box here. It's not a perfect box, but it still works. And I want to put a tan circle over here. You need 3 different connecting points to it. For example, here's 1, 2, and here's 3, and there you go, it fills out the area immediately. So yeah, that's it for circles. Now we have arcs. There's so many different types of arcs. I'm just gonna go over the very simple ones that you're probably gonna use the most. First is the 3-point arc. 3 points basically meaning there's 3 different points, as you can see. There's my first point, there's my second point, and this is gonna be my third point. There you go, there's an arc. And next is the start, center, and end. So basically it's basically a 2-point circle that has a different here's my first point, here's my second point, and yes, with this you can make a full 360 circle, or you can just make a 180 circle or a 90-degree circle. Basically this is start, center, arc. The center arc angle is basically starting from the center, or you have your start, here's your center, and yeah, it's basically the same as the other arc that we just used earlier. You can make half full arcs. So that's it for arcs. And Now we have rectangles. Rectangles are one of the things that you're probably gonna use the most as well, next to lines and circles. For rectangles, unlike here, let's try to make a line that's like 10 by 10. If I put a 10 here, we're basically creating a square. Connect it here. It's basically a 10 by 10 over here. If you just put a square directly, you can just put it at 10, comma, and another 10. Here we go. Now there's your 10 by 10. Way faster than creating a separate one. But this one, since it's a line, it's every single corner is a separate object of its own. Unlike for the square or the rectangle, it's one whole object. Next is a polygon. Polygon, you can enter how many number of sides. Let's make an octagon. Let's put the center over here. You can put it inscribed or outside the circle. Here you go. There's your octagon. Then just put it like that. Here, there, we have an octagon. So yeah. Next is we have ellipses. Ellipse, we can use center. There you go. Make a quick ellipse right there. Next is axis and circle or ellipse. This is the center. Here's the axis, and from here you can just basically do that, and there you go. There's your axis, the elliptical arc. So it's basically making an ellipse in the form of an arc, just like the arc earlier. Here we have an ellipse over here, and specify angle. Here we go. As you can see, you can make a whole ellipse or half ellipse, quarter ellipse. So it's basically just the arc thingy, but for ellipses. Now next is the hatch. Hatch is basically for differentiating different parts of your design. For example, let me make a ground here. For example, that's a ground, and let's make like a tank up here, like a water tank or something. A tank up here. There we go. There's your tank, there's your ground, and you have to differentiate this, which one's the ground, which one's the tank. So you can use hatches in order to separate those. For example, I want it to be like slanted lines to represent the ground. There we go. There's your slanted lines. As you can see, you can also change the scale of them if you want to. Here, as you can see, the scale, let's put it at 0.2. Oh, that's an invalid input. Let's make it at 2, if that's possible. There we go. Now the lines are more visible. Now it's more differentiable than that. This is the ground, and like this is your tank over here. Now for the basic stuff, we have move. Move is basically, as it says, you can move objects. First you have to select them, click on move. You can move them around anywhere you want on your project. And up next is copy. Basically, you're just copying the thing that you made. For example, I have a circle here. Let's select the circle, copy it, press it over here, and it's gonna make another copy and keep making copies every time you make a new one. You can just put them everywhere. Next is stretch. Stretch only works on rectangular or shapes that has 4 sides. For example, this square / rectangle that I made, you can press stretch on any corner. Let's select it first, press stretch. There we go. Put this corner, I want to stretch it around like this. Actually, you can put it everywhere you want. You can put it at the center, make it a triangle. Put it over here if you want to, make it a weird shape. Over here, make it another weird shape. And you can put it over here, make another weird shape. So yeah, that's about what stretch does. Rotate basically helps you just rotate your project. For example, I select this circle, I just put the line there so we can indicate which way is up and which way is down. So there we go, we rotate it, then there, now it's upside down. And if you want to rotate it again to make it right side up again, you can just always use rotate. There we go back in square one. Mirrors basically just mirroring's basically a copy, but making it side by side with the project that you just made, as you can see over here. Now there's two types of mirror. You can erase the source or keep the source. For now, let's press no and keeping the source over here. But if we make another one and mirror it and make another one of this project and press yes to remove the source objects, it's going to remove the things that it copied from, and it's going to move them over here since this is the one you mirrored. Next is scaling. Basically, it's a given. It changes the scale or the size of of your project or your objects. As you can see, however you like, you can put it at 100. It's gonna make it very big, as you can see. Next is trim. As we can see, we have two boxes here. For example, I want to make another line in the middle. There we go, line in the middle. Now I want to remove this specific line in the middle right here. We can just use trim and separate it. As you can see, now it's separated. I have this weird shape over here. There's three types of trims. You can click and remove an object. You can hold, and like your drawing, you can hold it and remove some objects, or you can just press the objects directly, as you can see. Let's just remove all of those. And next we have fillet. Now fillet is a very interesting one. This is how you can make corners. You can also make corners using the tan radius one. Let me show an example. So this is an example of the tan radius circle making a corner. Here we go. Let's use the tan radius circle. Let's make it a 1 radius. Where is it? Let's put the first point over here, second point over here. Let's make it a radius of 12. Is that possible? There we go. Oh, there it is. It's the corner. And just use trim. Remove those, and remove this. See, you have a corner. You can also use the fillet in order to make another corner. For example, let's put it over here and over here. For example, let's make a corner. Let's select fillet, select this, or you need to set your radius first. Select this, make a radius of 2, select the other one, this first object, radius of 2, enter the second object, and there you go. There's our corner. It has a radius of 2. And for array, I'm only gonna show two types of array, two of the most useful kinds of array. First one is the rectangular array. For example, I want to make a circle, a radius circle, like this, and I select the circle and make it a rectangular array. It's gonna make a row of rectangular. It forms a rectangular shape of arrays. Let's just undo that. And next is the polar arrays, which is probably the one you're gonna use the most for your projects. You can see, let's make a circle here, and let's make a smaller circle like over here, like a 2 radius circle. There. Let's make an array. Put it a polar array. Select the circle, polar array, and let's put the center over at the center of this circle. There you go. There's your polar array. You choose how many you want. You can put 10. Put 10 circles over there. As you can see, it adds circles. So that's polar array. Next is text. basically adding text to your projects, however big you like. See, you can type on it. If you press enter or escape, save changes, the text are gonna stay there. Next up is dimensions. Let's make two lines here. There we go. For example, I want to know the dimension of this top one. As you can see, you can just press corner to corner over here, and it shows me the direction of 27.7. We can also use this to measure the distance between this corner and this corner, so that's 34.39. So that's dimension. Linear is basically a linear dimension. As what I showed earlier, the distance from this point is 39, but the distance from, for example, let's just use a normal dimension here, from this point to this point, it shows that it's 20.74. If you use a linear and you want to connect it from here and to here, it's gonna show 27.43. So yeah, it's gonna show the distance from this top to this bottom and anywhere. So yeah, that's basically the first basic fundamentals of this part of the ribbon. This is the most part you're gonna use in 2D drawings, in your 2D drawings, in your 2D projects, or your 2D blueprints. So yeah. Okay, now let's use everything that I've taught from using these things. Let's apply it and make an actual small project that I found online. So first, you need a diameter circle. We're gonna make 5 different circles. For first circle is gonna be a 100 diameter circle. Yes, it's very big. Second circle is gonna be an 80 diameter circle. Put 80 here. You can follow me. You can follow my steps if you want for practice, or you can just watch it. Next is we're gonna make a 50 diameter circle over here. There's your 50 diameter, and after that we're gonna make a 40 diameter circle. Here we go, 40. There we go, 40 diameter circle. Next is we're gonna use the polar arrays that we just used earlier, and but first let's change the type of line that we have here. So if you want a different line, you can just press this, press other, and wait for it, and load, press load. Now we're gonna find a dash dot line type. Here we go, dash dot. Okay, press OK. Here we go. Press this line or press the circle. Type properties on your keyboard. Here we go, properties. Now here on properties, you can change the line type. 6C line type. Let's change it to the dash dot that we chose earlier. Now as you can see, it's very small. Like there's very small dots. You can change that scale to 10. Make it have bigger gaps. As you can see, there we go. Now we're gonna use the polar array, as I said earlier, and we're gonna make we're gonna use a diameter circle again, and click on the center of the circle. We're gonna make 10 diameter circles, and press this, put it on array, set this as the center. There we go. We're gonna put 8 circles. Okay, so let's apply what I've taught and all of the how to use these ribbons over here. So first we're gonna make 5 different circles, 5 different diameter circles. The first circle is gonna be 100 diameters. There we go. Second circle is gonna be 80 diameters. There we go. Next circle is gonna be 50 diameters. There we go. And lastly, for the big circles, it's gonna be 42 or 40 diameters. There we go. Now let's change the line type. Okay, now so let's change the line type of the 80 diameter circle. If you want to change the line type, you can just press other, wait for it, press other, load, and find the dash dot. Here we go. Okay. I already had the dash dot, so let's just reload it. There we go. Okay, continue. After that, you select the circle, press type properties on your keyboard. There we go, properties. And after that, you can change the line type here. Change it to dash dot. As you can see, it's very difficult to see since it's small. We can change the scale. Let's change it to 10. There, now the dash dot is more noticeable now. Then let's make the last circle up here. It's a 10 diameter circle. There we go. And now we're gonna apply the polar array. Press the polar array. Here we go. We're gonna apply the polar array. Press the array button over here, and let's put this as the center. There we go. Gonna change the amount of items to 8. Let's put 8 items there, and there we go. Now we're gonna use the lines in order to cut this. Okay, so first let's go from the center. Let's put 15 up and 15 down. There we go, 15 down. After that, we're gonna cut this circle. Since we're gonna cut it, let's put a line over there and another line over here. There we go. And same in the bottom part, line there and another line over here. And we're just gonna use it from now on. We're just gonna use trim. Trim is used to tidy up your work. Let's just trim this, trim this, trim this, trim that here, trim this, trim this, trim this, this one. So at this point I'm just tidying up the work. It's already finished. I'm just removing all unnecessary lines that we don't need. There we go. There, now we're done. All that's left to do is add the dimensions. Now let's put the 100 diameter over here, and as you can see, you can barely see the 100 diameter. You have to zoom in. You can change that by pressing dim style on your keyboard. Dim style. There we go. It's going to show the dim style or the dimension style. You can press modify on it. Wait a bit. There we go. Over here we can change the text height. Let's put it at 5. You can change the different types of color of the text. Let's put it at cyan. There we go. Then the symbols and arrows. You can see the lines. We can change the color of the lines. We can change it to red, as you can see. Change the other lines to red as well. Press OK. Close. And there we go. As you can see, it's more noticeable now. But if you want to remove the decimal circles, you can press dim style again. And press modify. And over here, we can press on text and or symbols and arrows. Let me see. Here we go. From primary units, you can change it to how much decimals you want to show. Let's just put it 0 decimals. Press OK and close it. It's gonna show that just the 100 there. After that, you can just put the other dimensions, finish out the project, and put the diameter of the 80 over here, the diameter of the 50 over here, diameter of 40 over here, and let's use linear for the 2, should be 30. There we go. the diameter from the center, put linear up to here, should be 15. There we go. And now we're done with the project that I found online. The pretty quick and simple project, and you can use the stuff that I mentioned so you can finish up your project. Just use trim if you're done to tidy it up. If you want to print it, you can press Ctrl P. There you go, Ctrl P. And if you have a printer, connect it to your printer. For now, just put it a PDF file, and then put it on an A4 isometric full bead. Here we go. Then display type window. Here we go. Let's select this over here. It's gonna show that. Here we go. Let's center it to the plot and apply layout. And we can preview what it looks like on paper once you print it. There we go. That's what it looks like on the paper. You can also use that. You can make your own template using rectangles, using lines, using text. And you can select the whole template, and yeah, there we go. I'm not gonna print it. It's just an example project. So yeah, there you go.